is Fox 5 News Morning.
Well, this past week, we observed Veterans Day in ceremonies big and small. For some, it's a day to honor their fathers and their grandfathers' military service. But for others, like Captain Patrick Horan, who's sitting right here next to me, it is Veterans Day is almost something that you live every single day. Huge sacrifices that not only you, but also military family members and the rest of the military community are making, even more so with the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. So we thank you very much for coming and joining us this morning. And I know you're joined by your wife and also some of your other support team as well. We're going to get to that of Maureen in just a little minute. And also, I'm not sure if we can see it, Wilson, the service dog, if you can see Wilson. Wilson is just sitting there nice and quiet. You have had an incredible journey. It's amazing to me that you can go through the injury that you had and be where you are today. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
1997, I joined the Army, and I had about 2004, I became a officer of school, and then so 2 years later, I went to I was in Fort Lewis, and I went to go to Iraq.
Right out there on the front lines, right?
Yeah, pretty much, because I was a striker and with the infantry. So we were there for like a year, and I was in Baghdad, and that night I got shot in the head by the bad guy, I guess, and I got lucky because I don't really remember.
Sure.
And what happened was they had to take off half of my skull because of breathing, because I was breathing so bad, and they took that off, and they took off almost half of my head.
And they took the left temporal lobe of your brain.
Yes.
And so how did that impact your functioning?
It took me almost probably 2 years or longer to even talk again at all. I'm not really good with my my arm, my leg, walking around and stuff. I'm getting better, but it took me years. And then my vision was really bad for years. Gotten better also, but I'm not going to be perfect. This part is gone over here. I can't see you. That's why I'm staying way over here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And for Patty, I mean, just to see him sitting here is amazing, and having a live on-camera TV interview. What do you think about that?
It is amazing. I mean, in the beginning, it was completely overwhelming. These guys, especially with the severe head injuries, when they come home, it's just there's not a lot of hope in the beginning. And there are many days where I thought, how could he possibly recover and have any sort of a normal life? So this is a gift, really.
And so what did you do? What did you guys do together to sort of get your brain back functioning and sort of making those new connections where connections were gone?
I really didn't know, so I just had to listen to her. She was in charge of me for probably 6 years, probably.
Just lots of therapies, right? Speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy. We're always looking for new things to challenge the brain. Yeah, for years, for 7 years, you've been actively in rehab.
And listening to a lot of music. I know that was something that seemed to help make connections.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but when I was in the hospital when I got hurt, they talked to the doctor, told Patty and my brother, and they're just like, you need to have music all the time, just listening. So hopefully my brain will start coming back to normal the way it was before. So I sing songs all the time, but I'm not good because I can't sing like I used to.
As long as it's pleasing to you, it's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Right? and so, Maureen Loftus, I also wanted to talk with you. You are with Learning RX, and you're sort of helping toward the end stages here of his recovery. Is it possible to remake connections that are gone?
Absolutely, and Pat is a great testament to this. He's missing the entire left temporal lobe, which is the center for language.
Right.
For receiving language, speaking, reading, writing, everything. And you can see for yourself that he has no difficulties with speaking. When he first came to us about a year ago, Pat was able to speak well. But it was slow, it was arduous, it was difficult to get the words and find the words, and Patty would oftentimes fill in for him because she knew exactly what he wanted to say. But you can see now that Pat's readily able to speak for himself and follow conversations and do so much more because of the brain training he did at Learning RX.
Wow. How important is it to you to be able to express yourself?
I don't know how to say that. I guess part of the problem is that I would like to say what I'm thinking, but, you know, inside I know what it is, but I'm not there yet. Hopefully I can continue, you know, going there with Learning RX and practicing, and then eventually I can say, because it's big words, I think they're big words, so I can't really say them. So I just stare at Patty, I'm like,
And do you know? Is there a telepathy between the two of you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, we've been doing this for a while, so it's good. But Pat's really, really the big goal with Learning RX for Pat is reading, and he's definitely coming along with that. So our vocational rehab counselor at the VA brought us to Learning RX, and they've been funding it for a year, and they're still funding it because he's making great progress. It's really right.
He's making great progress.
And I know that there are opportunities like that for other veterans as well.
Yes, we work with veterans as well as others who've had traumatic brain injury to help them recover many of the skills they had prior to the injury by creating new connections in the brain and rewiring, if you will, around that damaged part of the brain that is no longer there or maybe is beyond repair.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We could continue this conversation for hours, I'm sure, but also make sure you check out Pat's blog. He's actually blogging and writing, which I think is fantastic. It must be so therapeutic for you as well. You can type those words out.
It's practicing. I'm practicing. So it's so good. 2 years ago, I had no idea I could ever do that ever, but now I'm trying to. So it's great.
Appropriately titled, Pat's Back. And yes, he is. So thank you all very much for joining us. We'll try to get a little bit more information for you about this program and all the good thing that you guys are doing on our website. See you in a bit.